It feels like I'll get my theme song wish like I wanted. There's that Lotus Goddess. I haven't heard her do it in quite a while, actually. It said, "Welcome to the Lotus Goddess, divine love," and I love that. I wanted a wickedly divine feminine version for a while. Anyways, the was it the fates, the gods, whatever you want to put it in, the whims have us on, I believe these are part of the San Juan Islands, but I'm not 100% sure. They might consider them separate islands. I have not been up here before. I have wanted to come up here for a while. It's kind of on my bucket list of want to go explore. But we actually came over this way because we got some donations, and I was torn between like save it all, just save it all, or you know what, find a cheap hotel room for my teenage son so that he can enjoy his Christmas Eve with some space, with him and his bird, which turned out to be a funny story. But we found a very, very, very affordable hotel on Anacortes. And then I've been looking at things, and it appears there are other inns and places a little bit south, further on the island. Although it's an interesting thing because it's also in the middle. Signal's weird. If I have the DoorDash and the roads, I'm assuming it is interesting, strangely shaped. It's not as cool as Hawaiian Islands, but I bet it's got some magic of its own. In any case, I'm trying to figure out money a little bit because roads are actually very well paved. It's not, I almost would have preferred it be a little more foresty, but I don't know, maybe Oak Harbor is more foresty. I've not been surrounded by ocean like this ever, in terms of like, have I even driven to, I think when I was little, I may have driven to a peninsula down in Olympia, but it was a tiny, tiny one because that's the end of and that was even in the Puget Sound, much more so than we are right now. I was looking at, there's signs that talk about the tsunami warning systems and things like that. I'm like, oh, that's right. We are that close to the water, aren't we? Right? So I've got my oldest. He is enjoying a shower. I have his bird with me. We are enjoying the warmth of the car. And I'm interested in where this is going to go because I found a place that it's called the Opportunity Council. If we can get through tomorrow, they seem to be kind of like DSHS. They're not far from the DSHS office, but they seem to do a lot of similar things, and I would bet that they probably do it better. And having both is really, really nice. And there are places here that I could afford to rent, and I'm just not sure I know we want to be close to some community colleges so that my oldest can go, and we're thinking about Skagit Valley Community College, especially because they're very good with the performing arts, and that way he can do writing. Writing is something he overall wants to do. We're talking about where he could take that, but he also loves theater and stuff and musicals, and I thought, you know what, Bellingham area, Skagit Valley is great for that. They really pride themselves on their performing arts. So I'm thinking to look around, but I mean, we could get him started in a later semester, and we're not that far from it. So, I mean, yes, there's only so many roads to get onto and off of the islands, but if it's affordable enough, maybe we could make that work, at least enough to get some footing, you know what I mean? Although I'm not sure. I'm not sure because it's kind of, it makes driving an interesting thing, especially with, I have been having a friend help me diagnose the car, and it seems to be in limp mode, which is like, I was driving and door dashing, and I had to do a quick reverse, which I should not have done. I got scolded appropriately. And now it's in limp mode, which is fine in the sense of like I am grateful it is in limp mode where we can drive it around. It is, however, challenging because it would feel better on my heart for us to be able to find a place out here if the car was in better condition, because I'd have no problem driving my son around and going to one of the community colleges, or at least getting him to busing, and you know what I mean, like we could work it out. And also just having housing in general would be nice for a while, just something routine wise. I have to kind of giggle a little bit because my oldest, it doesn't realize how spoiled he has been too. I want to use a different word, pampered. Let's say not spoiled, pampered, because that's one of the few things that my adopted family had that they gave. Not that they wanted to give, just that they gave was money. And so he was at least able to have his routine. And I kept the emotional stuff pretty darn far away from him, anything else. So, and we've been talking about the lessons, the spirit lessons in this, because he's neurodivergent like myself. He's more closer to the autism spectrum, and routine has definitely been a comfort to him. It's not that he has to have routine, but it's comforting. And with a cockatiel, they like routine also, which kind of makes me giggle because it's like their dad. I like routine. I do like having my routine, but I am also comfortable in changing things, and I will be the one that's like, we're going to reorganize the living room every 6 months. Well, sometimes sooner. My mom used to do it all the time. I don't like change that much, but I like it a little bit more than all the time, always the same. So we've been talking about what we are learning and what we can learn, and I'm curious because Frankie's Tarot. Hello, Frankie. I don't know if you watch me yet or not. If anybody gets a chance to watch her, I believe it's just Frankie's Tarot. Frankie with an IE, if it makes a difference. She's very awesome. I've been watching her a little bit lately, and she did a reading last night just after we'd pulled in, and I'd stumbled through talking to the clerk because it was touch and go. It's funny because there's there's cultural barriers, because I don't know what the Islanders are like, and I don't know if he is like the Islanders or if he is different from the Islanders. I know that I think being in America, Washington State in general is newer for him, and that could be it, or that could be a combination of things. I don't know. It's funny because especially spending so much time inland, you typically don't consider those factors too much at all, but I don't know how much they make a difference out here or not. In any case, we're going to explore the door dashing a little bit south of here, and I'm hoping that you are going to be wishing we have a good adventure while things are closed, that some money comes in. If you're able to donate further, that would be wonderful. We're making productive use of it. It's just sometimes what is productive can not always be, it's not always black and white, you know what I mean? But either way, we'll make something good out of it, especially if Frankie's reading was correct, because when she put on her reading, it was right after we pulled up, and it was for my sign, and it said Island Life, and I was laughing no, there's no way. I've had some readings that have been spot on before, but no. And it was funny, she's talking about somehow you've gone to an island it was for Capricorns. You should look it up if you're a fellow Capricorn, and happy birthday to all of you who are fellow Capricorns. She said something about going away to an island for a getaway from DM and others, and that there is a chance to explore music here. And I have already worked in the music industry, and I have been wanting to write, but that's been, I have my guitar next to me, but that's been, when the thought comes into my mind, I'm like, yes, when I have a place to sit down and be warm be warm with my kiddo in a warm place. And I feel more and more like Spirit's No, now, like go find that weird bar and play with people singing sea shanties or something. I'm not sure. In any case, I love you all for watching. I'm going to keep this short because it is snowing. And my son is going to be out here soon, and I'm going to turn the key into this hotel, which, as far as I know, we're leaving with a good reputation so we can come back up here if we need to. Which is the way that my Capricorn, but especially with a stellium in Capricorn, likes to leave things whenever possible. Good reputation. Okay, y'all. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.